right, anytime we're here, it's definitely as a delight because you don't only get entertained, you get enlightened and definitely educated. Good afternoon, I'm Daisy Leo Asikidi, and today I want to officially welcome you to the program Flipside. Yes, the other side of the news. Interestingly, there's been news that has given us so much joy, especially we women. We're smiling, grinning from ear to ear, and that's the news of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala emerging as the DG of the World Trade Organization. Well, beyond becoming DG, there's a whole lot of responsibilities attached to that office. We're going to talk a little bit about her today, congratulate her, celebrate her on television. I mean, if I don't do that, it would be absurd. I'm a woman. I have to join forces with other women in the world when one of us makes a good name. But that's not the major thing we're talking about on Flipside today. The major thing we will be talking about is swimming and water safety. Yes, swimming and water safety. I do have a guest in the house that will be talking about these two interesting discussions today, the implications of Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala becoming the DG of the WTO and, of course, swimming safety. Don't worry, they are not really related. They are two different topics, but they are very relevant at this time. Schools just resumed a couple of weeks back, and if you don't know, most schools have adopted this swimming as an extracurricular activity for their students, and they'll be going to the pools a whole lot this period, and thank God for the heat. But we need to understand safety about this whole swimming thing before your school will just join in. Maybe there's some things you need to know. Well, you know what? I think Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala has definitely earned top spots on Flipside today. So quickly would give you a little biography about her, give you a glimpse into her portfolio. And after that report done by Rosanna Warame, you will meet my guest and we'll talk about Ngozi first before we get to talk about swimming.
History was made on the 15th of February 2021 as Nigeria's former finance minister and one-time managing director of the World Bank, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, was appointed as the new Director General of the World Trade Organization. The contest on who to lead the international body was characterized by lobbying of members of the World Trade Organization to vote for Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, who had a strong opposition from South Korea. Under the administration of former U.S. President Donald Trump, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala's prospects of becoming Director General of World Trade Organization suffered a setback. But with the emergence of Joe Biden as U.S. President, Dr. Iweala's opportunity got a boost, especially as her opponent from South Korea stepped down from the race. With this appointment, she becomes the first woman and the first African to lead the World Trade Organization. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, a global finance expert, is an economist and international development professional with over 30 years of experience working in Asia, Africa, Europe, and Latin America. She is currently the chairman of the board of Gavi, the Global Alliance for Vaccine and Immunization. She served twice as Nigeria's finance minister from 2003 to 2006, in 2011 to 2015, and briefly foreign affairs minister in 2006, the first woman to hold both positions. She spent a 25-year career at the World Bank as a development economist, rising to the number 2 position of Managing Director Operations. As Managing Director of World Bank, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala had oversight responsibility for the World Bank's $81 billion operational portfolio in Africa, South Asia, Europe, and Central Asia. In 2019, she was elected to the African Academy of Arts and Sciences. She was conferred with high national honors from the Republic of Cote d'Ivoire and the Republic of Liberia. She is also the recipient of Nigeria's third highest national honors, Commander of the Federal Republic, CFR. Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala graduated with Bachelor of Arts degree in Economics from Harvard University and earned a PhD degree in Regional Economics and Development from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. She has received honorary degrees from 15 universities worldwide. She is the author of numerous articles and several books. She is married to Dr. Nkemba Iweala, a neurosurgeon. They are blessed with 4 children and 3 grandchildren.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us. If you just joined us, it's Flipside, and we're talking about the implications of Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala emerging as the DG of the WTO. So if you've not been watching news this week, this is one news you're not supposed to have missed out on. But even if you don't watch regular television often and you're a social media freak, I'm sure you would have seen the news at some point. There's even a challenge about it on Twitter, and the hashtag be like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala challenge. So people are beginning to dress like her and all of that stuff. Well, I have a public affairs analyst in the house with me. He's also a swimming coach. He runs a swimming academy. He's a member of the Red Cross. He's a safety expert. He coaches lifeguards as well. So he does a whole lot of things. But let's hold the swimming part of it for now and focus on the fact that he's also a public affairs analyst. I'm talking about Mr. Kelly Ogesoba. Good to have you on Flipside.
Thank you.
Again.
Thank you.
I've had him on the show a long time ago, and I'm surprised that I almost forgot I've had him on my show before. It's been so long, but it's good to see you here.
Thank you.
Again. Okay, so let's quickly talk about Ngozi. Congratulations to you, Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, by the way. But what do you think this means to us, this appointment as the DG of the WTO?
Okay, thank you. It means a lot to Nigerians. It means a lot to us as a nation. It's first and foremost an image booster before the Committee of Nations. And again, she has said that she's going to implement policy responses to boost the economy, the global economy, and to put everybody on the right track again. Again, I know that's going to trickle down to our home country, Nigeria. And I also think it's a boost to the Nigerian girl child. It's a boost to our image outside. If you'd agree with me that one of the major challenges we have in this country is a battered image outside by some few Nigerians. But again, the likes of Okonjo-Iweala would put us on the spotlight for the good reason, for a very good reason. And I think that's a good one.
Yeah, it's really a big one for the girl child in Nigeria. And in fact, Nigerian women have been doing us proud recently since Joe Biden's emergence as president. In his cabinet, we've seen about 3 Nigerian women that were working in the White House, and really young one. There was even one from Urumi, unmarried, less than 25. I was amazed, like, whoa. So at least it's not just Nigerian girls abroad prostituting and all that stuff. So yeah, we're proud. Okay, but personally, I feel it's a bad time for her to take over office as the DG. Beyond the fact that the world at large has suffered economic issues because of COVID-19, there are also peculiar situations created by former President Donald Trump. The issues he had with China and several other countries and all that stuff. But do you think she'll be able to do well with all of these pressures and challenges she would encounter, considering her portfolio?
Yes, I think whatever that may have played out in the past should be in the past, because at this time the expectations are high. She has to be focused. And the only way she can deliver is to put those things behind. And for considering her precedence, considering her capacity, her qualification and all that, I'm very optimistic that she will do well. And those things will not be a setback to her at all. She understands how those things could distract her. But she's up to the task, and I'm sure she's going to be focused and make us proud, make Nigerians proud, and make the world proud.
Okay, and about the Be Like Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala challenge on Twitter, I've seen the pictures. Younger girls, even guys, are joining in on the challenge, dressing like her. And you dress like her, especially because she's always wearing beads on her neck, and very simple looking beads at that. And then she has this way of tying a scarf at the middle of her head, you know. So people do that, and the winner of that challenge is going to get 100,000 naira. But what do you think about that particular challenge?
Yeah, I think it's a good one. It's a way of celebrating our own. I think I'm sure we heard of some celebrities in this country that, I mean, Nigerians get to imitate, and sometimes you're looking at the morality behind what they imitate from these celebrities. But again, her signature, I'm talking about the Okonjo-Iweala, her signature Ankara hairstyle, the one-strand necklace and the plain glass, it's something good. It's a way to celebrate her, and it's a good thing. I mean, more challenges will come. This is just the first one. I think more challenges will come. More organizations will come to do things that would make us celebrate our own. It's a good one.
Okay. All right. From our studio, we're saying a very big congratulations to Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Although every time I look at a picture, I'm like, is it not possible to be a bookie and still, as in a geek or someone who is very intelligent and still be very fashionable? Because it seems like everyone who is very intelligent isn't fashion crazy at all. I mean, her glasses are so just there, her hair is just and she wears this, it's always that Ankara, nothing else. But she makes me so proud, especially the fact that she wears the Ankara a lot. And she is a US citizen. She was there for several years. She doesn't even have an accent. That's surprising. There are people who just get to the airport, they don't even fly. When they are coming back, accents have come. You know, so we're very glad, we're grateful that this came through for us, and we wish you well. Okay, now we're talking about something else on Flipside today, and that's the fact that schools have resumed, and we have a lot of pupils joining in the pool. If you love swimming and you've been to the pool recently, you'd find out that you're not the only person there swimming. There are children there with you now. I even went swimming one day and I saw a baby who was just 1. In fact, it was his 1-year birthday, and the mom was putting him in the pool, you know, they dip him, and the child was not crying, no. In fact, when they tried to remove the baby, everywhere it burst, they started crying. So I was curious, like, is this child, I felt personally that this child was too young to be put in such a water. It's cold and all that stuff. I think babies should still be using warm water, but the mom said it doesn't matter. Our kids always come into the pool from that age, provided she's there to supervise. So we're going to talk about this extracurricular activity that seems to be getting very much popularity in Edo State. Now, if you visit Port Harcourt a lot, you would notice that it's no news. Most of the private schools in Port Harcourt, from primary to secondary school, starts with swimming and karate trainings. They tell you they need to teach the children how to defend themselves, and then they need to know how to swim because it's good for their health and that and this and all of that stuff. So Edo State is beginning to cash in on that trend, and more schools are embracing it too. Before you will allow your child to go and enroll in their school swimming classes, I think there are basic things you need to know. Hence the reason we brought Kelly Ogesoba to the studio today to deal with this topic in depth. Now, the first thing I'm going to ask you, you're a coach, you have a swimming academy you run.
Sure.
And if you look two of us now, Sha, let me speak pidgin English, you might even think I am older. This guy swims a lot, and I don't swim at all. I've been trying to, but I never seem to get the time. I try, Sha, small, I try. Okay, but what are the benefits of swimming? First things first.
The benefit of swimming can hardly be overemphasized. People have said it's the best form of exercise. It involves all parts of the body. It's very good for the cardiovascular, the heart. So regular swimming, for me, it's generally accepted as the best form of exercise. And so it makes you keep fit, and again, it helps you burn a lot of fat. Yeah, it helps you burn a lot of fat. And one very interesting thing about swimming, again, is that there's a kind of sickness, there's a kind of ailment that swimming can actually help during the recovery processes. people who have arthritis, for instance, could take up swimming lessons. And there are a couple of swimming exercises that could actually relieve the pain and enhance the recovery process of some of these ailments. So swimming is very, very important, very beneficial.
Okay, okay. All right. At what age should kids be allowed to start learning to swim? I saw a baby was born. I didn't form that story. It was real.
Okay.
But at what age do you think is safe?
Okay. The benchmark is 4. Baby has to be 4 years before you can start swimming lessons. But again, there are variables. Some babies develop faster than others. So if the baby has developed enough coordination to do the kicking and the arm stroke, then the baby is ready to go start swimming lessons. But again, before 4, there's what we call water orientation, and I'm sure that's what the woman in your story was doing. She was not necessarily teaching the baby how to swim. She was just trying to get the baby to be comfortable in the water environment. And for babies like that, by the time they start taking swimming lessons, they tend to catch up quicker than those who have never been in the water. And we've heard of stories where some of our brothers in this country were told that when they give birth to their babies, the first thing they put them in water. And all of those stories, I don't know how true those stories are. But again, there's something called water orientation. So before 4, let's say age 2 at age 3, you can start doing some water orientation with the right flotation device. Then all you need to do is to have the baby partially submerged. Now the baby can start doing some kicking and all that. May not be effective, but again, that's a good place to start from. You're not teaching the baby, it's just getting to be a little bit comfortable with the water environment. Then from age 4, you can start doing proper swimming lesson. But again, whatever you do, when it comes to each time I take children on swimming lessons, I'm always very, very careful. So what's important is that there's strict supervision. Whether you're dipping just the baby's feet on the water, or whatever you're doing, the baby is using a flotation device, but just ensure that you stay so close, so close.
Okay. All right, now, how regularly can one swim? You're a coach, you're an adult, and I know the way, even if I learn how to swim today, the way I would swim is not going to be to the extent you would, I think. But how regularly can one swim? Is it something we can do every day? And for how long should we stay in the water for adults and children? Because that day at that pool, it was the baby's birthday, so they had hangouts, and I won't mention the name, I almost said that, and they were there for a long time. The kids refused to come out. They came with lots of children. They all had their small fancy car tires that looked like dogs. You come out of the water. These people were there for over 2 hours. Then after a while, they were now looking feverish. So they came out. The mom insisted. They came out. They went to the swing. They ran around and came back in the water. So how long is long enough?
Okay, for children, you're swimming, whether you're catching fun or you're taking swimming lessons, it shouldn't be more than 1 hour. Benchmark shouldn't be more than 1 hour. I've seen cases where they bring children to the pool because it's a public swimming pool and you need to pay gate fee. And so the children want to spend time, they want to enjoy their money, quote. But at the end of the day, it's like penny wise, pound foolish. Because at the end of the day, you're going to catch cold, you're going to trigger some health issues, because now the body temperature may just drop and all that. Having said that, for adults can take more time, take longer time in the swimming pool. It can take 2 hours. But again, as a coach, sometimes I abruptly just end a swimming lesson. There's a psychology behind it. If you understand, there's no strict rule as to how long you spend when you're giving a swimming lesson. It could be 30 minutes, it could be 1 hour, it could be 1 hour, 30 minutes. You should be able to monitor your students and know when they should leave the water, whether children or adults. But if you are in the swimming pool just to catch fun, for adults, again, I've seen cases where adults are literally shivering. And sometimes you just ask them, shivering, why not leave the water? And they tell me, I want to enjoy my money. You understand, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they're going to put their health condition will be at stake. So time is very important. Spend too long a time in the water, you're going to pay for it.
Okay. Well, we're talking about extracurricular activities, swimming, because we have more students who are now swimming. But last week we had a special edition on Flipside where we talked about Valentine's Day and some other love issues. On that show, towards the end, on It's About You, we promised you a video on do-it-yourself gifts making for Valentine. It's still the month of love, so even if we weren't able to play that video to for you all to learn, eventually Valentine came and you still did not watch it, it's okay. We're still going to play it right now so that you get to watch it. You would learn what you need to learn. Get the video from YouTube. It's not my video, I actually took it from YouTube, so we'll upload it whether you want to watch it from us or you want to watch it from the original owners. It's okay. Learn what you need to learn and then still go ahead and make a gift. I think it will be even much more fun than giving that gift on February 14th. So we will come back to our swimming discussions, but we'll quickly push play to gift ideas for Valentine's Day.
Can you hear my heartbeat calling? Can you feel the love we're falling? Just take my hand and take me home tonight. Throwing caution to the wind, I'll take a chance and let you
The seasons come and go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea, into the blue. They change but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. Seasons turn and change just like your mind. Like the sun gives into the moon, into the night. Time continues marching, it slowly crawls. With each new one starting, I recall. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. Time of year carries memories like a never fading whisper in the breeze. Oh, we will keep on changing all over again. Yeah, we will keep on changing just like another season. Don't want another day without you by my side. Oh, this season. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Just like another season.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me tight. Yeah, I'm surrendering. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me.
Alright, so I finally fulfilled my promise. I feel so relieved. I feel good. Okay, so that was the video we promised you last week. Well, today on Flipside, we're talking about swimming, extracurricular activity, swimming. And we've talked about at what age should kids be allowed to start getting into the pool, and even when they do start getting into the pool, how long should they stay in the water. And the good part of it is, if you're just joining us, you're in luck. We always would upload the video on YouTube, so you can still catch up and watch any other part you've missed out on. So I have Mr. Kelly Ogesoba in the studio with me. He's a swimming coach, he's a safety expert, he's also a member of the Red Cross, Nigerian Red Cross Society. He is a lifeguard trainer as well, and he runs his own swimming academy. So even if your school really needs someone to help, and they've not joined the clique of schools that are swimming already in Benin, well, I think you're in luck. You just have to leave a comment on our YouTube channel under the video. Leave it there. You can ask for his contact, and with his permission, I'll get it to you. But before we go, we give you his social media account so you can also reach out to him. So back to our questions. I want to ask about the chemicals added to the swimming pools, especially. I've been to a pool. I didn't go swimming. It was like a bar, but it was at the pool side, and the water was so dirty. They were trying to get it all cleaned up with one thing that looked like sieve that was long, and while they were scooping and all that, then the guy said they would add chemical. I was waiting to see how they do that, but they didn't do it while we were there. But I know there are chemicals added to the pool water. I've perceived it before in a water. So, well, the chemicals added into the swimming pool, and with regular swimmers like yourself, you train, so you're always in the water. Aren't there like some level of danger to that exposure for the stretch of time you stay?
Not not anything serious. Again, the major chemical that is used to treat the swimming pool is chlorine. This is the same chemical that is used to purify our drinking water.
Okay.
So with the right quantity, the chemical would not have any harm to swimmers. Except that when you spend too long a time in the swimming pool, your complexion may become a bit dark.
Whoa.
Yes. It has that negative effect on the skin. But again, nothing serious. After some days, you will recover from that. Then again, if the timing is another thing, if the chemical is usually applied in the evening, so you apply the chemicals in the evening, the work, there's a filtration system that works continuously, that circulates the chlorine overnight. So the next morning, before swimmers come to the swimming pool, the chlorine must have dissolved. And so you won't have the sting from the chemicals and all that. That's essentially the way swimming pools are maintained. No serious health issues.
Okay, now, are there no injuries swimmers can actually get? Because swimming, like, is also a sport. Even though Nigeria that has people who live inside water doesn't seem to always get Olympic gold medal from swimming. I don't know why, but it's a sport, and most sporting activities, there are injuries that are peculiar to them. Football, athletics, basketball, you just name it. So what are the common kind of injuries you could get from maybe during training, if you're competing, or if you're just a regular swimmer like I'll soon be? So, and if you get injuries, what do you do?
Okay, presently I work as a lifeguard in the same swimming pool we used for our training. So I've seen a lot of injuries, even especially during festive period when the pool is packed filled with swimmers. But again, because of the lack of exercise, when people go into the swimming pool, the commonest type of injury is usually the cramps, the muscle cramps, which is most times mild. All they need to do is to just stop using the leg, the affected muscle, and massage gently. Most times what people are used to doing is to keep hitting the muscle, seen cases like that, but that's not how to take care of cramps. You just relax the muscle and massage calmly, and after some time the pain would go. But again, for serious swimmers, for competitive swimmers, you could get strains, you could get sprains and all that, and when that happens, there's a first aid treatment for that we call RICE. So we call RICE, R-I-C-E, rest, ice, compress, and elevate. So these are the things we do to mitigate those injuries that may occur.
Interesting. Okay, I've also heard someone say there's a pool around this Uluka area. When you're coming near the pool, they don't have a bar. They tell you don't take bottled drinks near their pool. You don't do this, you don't drink alcohol when you're coming to the pool and all that stuff. But I've also been to another pool where the bar is just beside the pool. So we drink small, for those who drink. You drink small, you get into the water. You drink small, you get into the water. So what's the regular standard for safety precautions in a pool? Maybe the regular standard and compared to what's obtainable. What should we put in place when we talk about safety in general?
Okay, safety in general. Okay, not just as it relates to do with alcohol.
No,
okay.
It doesn't have to be only alcohol.
Okay, to start with, as a safety professional, sometimes I visit some swimming pools and I'm like, wow, people come here to swim because the safety standard is so poor. But again, it boils down to the competence of the lifeguard that is employed,
Okay.
and the will of the swimming pool operators to do what is right. Most times you visit a swimming pool and there are no safety precautions mapped out, strategically positioned so that swimmers can come and read. I know Nigerians will have problems reading signs and all that, but at least that should be in place. Then for me, what is important is the lifeguard enforcing these safety precautions. Most times, one thing that is common is that we find people running around the pool deck and the lifeguard is watching, not doing anything, because he doesn't seem to understand the danger in running around the swimming pool. Sometimes we find people who sit at the pool deck, their two legs are inside the water.
Like
sometimes they are just inside the water and they are taking alcoholic drink, and the lifeguard is there watching. The bottle could actually fall from the swimmer's hand, get broken, and the particles would enter into the water, and that will cause some serious hazard for swimmers. So what is important for me is the lifeguard implementing these safety precautions. Permit me to say that most times what I've seen in this state is that 99% of the lifeguards we have are lifeguards because they can swim. You can swim, then come and work for us, be a lifeguard. And that's the only condition that they seem to meet in order to become a lifeguard. No training, no certification from any accredited body or whatever. And they just do their job. They don't know what. The only thing they can manage to do is, oh, if somebody is drowning, I can go in and rescue. But they do not understand that in safety, prevention is the bulk of safety. You must learn to prevent accident. If you emphasize prevention, then you wouldn't need to spend too much time and effort going to rescue someone who is drowning or to get to attend to some serious emergencies. So it's very important. Safety precautions around the swimming pools, they are vital. They should be placed in the swimming pool. Lifeguard should be trained so that they know what safety rules to implement, hygiene rules to implement, to enforce. It's very important.
Okay. You mentioned something about people who sit on the pool deck and their legs are inside the pool. What's bad about that? Because I do it a lot.
There's nothing bad about it. The point I was trying to make is that while they are there, they are drinking.
I
understand that laugh.
Oh my God, you take the finest pictures in that position.
But again, there's a danger. And for me, enforcing this rule is always a challenge. Sometimes there are some big boys who think they can just do anything. They buy expensive drink, they sit there. Sometimes some of them do not even want to swim. They are still with their clothes on, they just dip their legs, and they are there just drinking. Something happened not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago. Someone was actually inside the pool, sitting on the deck, and a bottle of malt was beside her. So immediately I spotted her. I was walking towards her to caution her to remove the bottle from that position. As I was going, the floater she was using, I think she was about to put the floater on, and that just touched the bottle, knocked the bottle down. And though the bottle didn't break, but the content entered into the water. That's another thing on its own that we should prevent. But that's going to contaminate the water to some extent. The chemicals may react with the content. So it's always a challenge. Sometimes you tell some people they are just adamant. But it's something that we must do. We'll find a way around it. Something we must do.
Okay. Well, for the standards of swimming pools, while picking a swimming pool to use in general, I mean, there are some things we should look out for, because I've seen different types. I've seen pools where the deck, like you call it, I've learned one word today. The swimming pool deck is like made with tiles or something. And I've seen one, it's an indoor pool, and it's covered in green artificial grasses. Yes, and I was looking at it all year, like, why is this here? Would they be able to clean under? And the guy said they do clean it from time to time, but I wasn't just cold. I refused to enter that water. Then the water was also not flowing like some other person's pool I've seen, where it's as if there's one tap flowing into the water. And then there was also something, that same pool that had the green deck around it, they didn't have a shower very close to the pool where you can rinse before you get in. It wasn't compulsory. But the one that refused to allow us to bring drink, I've never gone back there. I refuse to go there. They're so strict. But I think they will be a better option now that I've heard some things. You must get yourself wet. But why do they, especially that getting yourself wet, why is it very important to soak your body before you get into the water? One, and then what should we look out for if we want to patronize a swimming pool to say, okay, this water is safe enough for us to use or not at all before we leave?
Okay, why we need to get ourselves, not just getting yourself wet. I've heard people saying go and wet yourself. But again, for two reasons. One, for hygiene. We rub cream, different type of cream before we leave our homes. So what we do in the shower is to at least wash off some of the cream, because you may think that doesn't matter. But again, imagine having about 50 people. They may not come at the same time. Imagine 50 people in a day. They come directly into the pool without washing off some of the cream. You would understand that will now mean something for the hygiene of the water, because you're going to wash off the cream in the water. Apart from cream, ladies,
I beg you have to wear makeup and look good.
you understand, so at least you just wash off some of the makeup. I know without soaps it may not really go off completely, but at least an attempt to just wash off some of the makeup would be fine.
Oh, and sorry, that's pool I talked about. They say you don't carry wigs into the pool. It must be your natural hair. Yeah, I own it. Okay, continue.
Okay, another thing is when you use the shower, it has a way of helping your body adjust in terms of the temperature adjusting to that of the water, instead of just going into the water directly.
Your body to shock.
So that's another part. Then what to look out for when you visit a swimming pool. You talked about the deck. Sometimes we could have some of the mistakes that people make is that the tiles around the swimming pool, on the deck of the swimming pool, may be very slippery. May not be slippery without water, but this is an area where people could splash water on the pool deck. It's unavoidable. So when there's water on the pool deck and the tiles is the type that would become slippery, then that's serious danger. So especially when you're taking kids to the swimming pool, if the tiles around on the pool deck is slippery, then that's not safe for kids. But most times you can't stop kids from running. Even though that's one thing you must watch out for. You must prevent running around the pool deck. Is very risky. So there are some other tiles that even when there's water on it relatively there'll still be some amount of friction and all that. That's safer. But the artificial grass you talked about is the safest, even though it has its own challenge when it comes to maintenance. Cleaning the artificial is a serious challenge, but in terms of safety, it's the best.
Really?
Because of the traction, the friction that would be when you are on it. Because the most serious, one of the most serious incidents that could happen around the swimming pool is when you slip on the deck, especially when you're running. You could actually hit your head on the ground, and you know what that could mean. So the reason they have artificial curve on the deck of the swimming pool is to avoid slip, which is very important. Even though maintenance is another issue. But if you do thorough maintenance, I think that is best.
Okay.
And again, some swimming pools sometimes would, after many years, some ties will begin to pull off. And sometimes the ties, they don't pull off as a whole. They may just crack, and the edges are very sharp. So when you notice that there are sharp edges like that, the ties are pulling off, and cracked ties, particles in the pool, that's not safe. And again, the lifeguard is another thing. who is the lifeguard on duty? Who is the lifeguard on duty? Are there signs, visible sign in the swimming pool that would guide swimmers on what to do? If you spend 30 minutes in a swimming pool, you should be able to know if the lifeguard is trained or not. Because in a swimming pool where people just run around and nobody is cautioning them, then you can tell that this lifeguard is not trained. So a couple of other things, people coming into the water, nobody tells them to go and shower, nobody implements all of this safety hygiene rule, then you can tell that the lifeguard is not qualified. Then you may as well not visit the swimming pool like that.
Interesting. Okay, well, on a final note, we're just going to leave now because we've learned a whole lot. So for parents who have children who would want to swim, there are signs that you need to check. For even the schools that would want to make this an extracurricular activity, there are things you should look out for. From what we've said today, from the pool you are going to use to the persons who will be doing the training, there are so many things you need to put into consideration because you really want your kids safe. And for those who are just going to go to the pool because it's not really about school, they want their kids to learn, they want to swim, there are other things you should watch out for. But before we leave, Mr. Kelly, just give us your social media account, your Facebook name or Instagram or Twitter, whichever one you prefer. At least just say it. And
okay, Facebook, Kelly Lambano Ogesoba is my Facebook username.
Lambano, Lambono.
Lambano, that's pronounced, yeah.
Okay, Lambano, no underscore.
No underscore.
Okay. Okay, it's ladies that like all those many ones. I have Pretty Diva underscore Sugar. Okay, so you just go on Facebook and check Kelly Lambano Ogesoba.
Yeah.
Okay, and reach out to him if you need any other information on swimming, or you want to make arrangements for your swimming classes, lifeguard trainings. You can also book an appointment with him. My personal account is Daisy Osato Leo Asikidi, or Daisy Osato. I have many accounts on Facebook. You can also reach me on Daisy Oba Isiagbon Leo Asikidi. It's all my accounts. I use all of them. All right, for Facebook, then if you want to reach me on Twitter is Daisy Rich, and on Instagram it's Daisy Osato. That's just no space. Instagram Daisy Osato, Twitter Daisy Rich, and Facebook Daisy Osato, Daisy Oba Isiagbon Leo Asikidi, or just type Leo Asikidi, it will pop up. But thanks for your time. Don't forget we'll upload this video on YouTube so that you can catch up, drop your comments, like our pages, and we'll see you again next week.